Hi there, in today's video I'll be doing something different than what I do normally on my channel. Today I'm going to interview two mummies and we're going to talk about life as a single mom, how it is that they go about doing what it is that they do and still be independent. Today we're shooting not far from one of Guyana's beautiful hotels, Marriott, here in Guyana. First.
Hi, I'm Manal.
Yes.
I'm Destiny.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to tell us about yourself?
Okay, since we're talking about being a single mother, I'm a mother of 7-year-old girl, Kaya Taylor. I am a mother of a 6-year-old boy, Dante Prince, and he's a lot.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do here in Guyana?
This is my third job since I've gotten my daughter. I'm currently employed at the Ministry of Public Security as a clerk, general clerk attached to the Permanent Secretariat. I've been there, this is the 5th year I've been working at the Ministry of Public Security.
Wow. Currently I am a student nurse, but previously I worked at a LED company. They sell LED lights and I was the manager there. But yeah, being a registered nurse is more fun.
Okay, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for doing this. I don't know if it takes a lot of courage, but it's something phenomenal to celebrate, that even though you guys are doing this on your own, that you're still doing it and you haven't given up on doing it. Many people choose not to do it by themselves and they choose to give away their baby or to not deal with it and just leave. So we must commend you for doing what you're doing, and I know that your babies are proud of you and I am proud of you, and you look fabulous while doing your mommy.
Thank you.
Welcome to YouTube. How y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on that watch button to view today's content. Remember, if you like this video, to like it and to comment in the comment section, to share it and also to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, please put on your notification bell so that you can see every time I post. In today's video I have with me two beautiful mommies and we'll be discussing what it's like to be a single mommy here in Guyana and still be independent and do what they do. So enjoy today's video. What happened when you first found out that you were pregnant? How did you feel? What were the emotions that you guys felt? So, yep.
Well, when I found out I was pregnant, I was 19, and as far as I was concerned, I was still a baby. I said, I'm a child, I am ready for a child right now, but after talking with my family and some close friends, I mean, I had a lot of days where I cried, and I wasn't sure what decision to make, whether to keep the child or not, but after I spoke with my family, they encouraged me to do the right thing, and I said okay. Actually, they left the decision up to me. They said, what do you want? And I said, I'm going to keep the baby. And once that was made, it wasn't a problem for me. I said I'm not going to stress myself out because it will affect the baby, and I just did what I had to do from there.
So when I found out that I was pregnant, I was also 19, going in 20, and it was scary, to be honest, because my family, how I grew up, being pregnant at 19 was not ideal. We already didn't have much. We were already dealing with a lot of things as to where we came from, how we're being looked at because of where we came from. So my mom was not with it at all. She was like, this is not happening. You're not gonna do this to me. Like, it's happening to me. But after a while, it was okay with her. For me, mentally, I had to challenge with it. I had to deal with it internally and gather myself to be like, all right, so I can do this and I'm gonna do this regardless.
Exactly.
It was hard.
How was your delivery? Was it difficult in terms of having support from family and friends? And what was delivery like?
Delivery for who has had drips. Whew. Lord have mercy. But it was altogether not a terrible experience, and I didn't have high blood pressure or any preeclampsia or anything like that. So it was a fairly normal delivery, and we went home, I think it was the following day, and I had support from my family and my daughter's family as well. So it wasn't so terrible for me.
So for my delivery, we did it at GPHC, but it wasn't hard. I got my son and my placenta, everything came down in 15 minutes.
What?
I know, right? I got into labor pain. I felt and I knew it was coming because I did a lot of reading before. I didn't want to have this unexpected experience, even though it should be unexpected. So
baby just got
rushed to the hospital, right? And he just wanted to come.
Exactly.
When I got there, the nurse was like, you know, I'm not bad at GPHC.
Oh no.
And the nurse was like, ma'am, can you have a seat? I don't think you're ready. I said, ma'am, I know that I'm ready. And when the midwife came, she checked me. I was like fully dilated, 10 centimeters. Got on the table. Everything was nice. My mom came after because she had just gone out to enjoy herself. It was the 25th of May because it was the
Next
day before
Independence.
Okay.
And everybody want to go out and I want to go out and I can't go out. So now that happened, he came in like 5 minutes tops.
Wow.
And then it was time for the stitches. That I tell you, that was painful. But when it comes to support, I had all my colleagues, well, classmates at that time. I was in GTI, my final year, and my classmates came the next day. Everybody came. It was a really nice experience, you know, and I would do it again.
Whoa! What do you wish that you knew before you got pregnant?
For me, when I got pregnant, well, I lived with my mother and my brother. And when I got pregnant, my brother had just gotten a baby daughter. So, and she lived with us. So, as I was pregnant, I had a young baby in the house with me. So, as I was learning how to deal with her, it was giving me sort of training for when I got my daughter. But definitely, before, one thing I would say I learned from pregnancy and motherhood is you're going to need a lot of patience, and sometimes things might be affecting you on the outside, but you cannot take that out on your child, whatever it is, whatever stresses or problems you have. Sometimes the child might come at a time that, man, I can't deal with that. You gotta say, okay, this child has a problem that has nothing to do with what you're experiencing, so you gotta put that aside and deal with your child on a different level, because you can't really take your stresses out on your child. That's how you start child abuse and so on. So patience, definitely. You gotta try to save. And basically that's it.
Even though they said it, I didn't believe it. I should have known that I would not have gotten so much sleep having a child. Like, my son hated sleeping at night, and that was really hard on me because I still had school, and I got him 2 weeks before my exam, so it was extremely hard. And the sleeping, I wasn't having none of that. None of that.
The rest of your life.
And I wish they would tell me how to eat properly, because what I did, I ate everything and anything in sight. And now my stomach probably stretched twice that size now.
Wow.
It's normal size because I ate a lot. I didn't have a meal plan, and I didn't know that. I didn't know you could have created a meal plan, something that would feed you properly, that would have satisfied the baby, and you wouldn't be hungry all the time.
You see, Guyanese culture usually tells you, the baby want food, so get the baby. If the baby want KFC, eat KFC.
I know, right? And I ate a lot of Church's. Like, Church's chicken was it. I surprised they didn't give me anything free. I lived there, you know? So that was one of the, I think, as much as you would see it as nothing, I think that's one of the things people should really look at. How you eat when you're pregnant, because it really messes with your health in the long run and emotionally, because people tend to stress eat and so on.
Tell us, what challenges do you face as a single mommy?
Yeah, for me, my biggest challenge right now is not being there for him as much as I want. Yes, I do have my sisters, and I have an amazing little brother. He's like his father. So when I'm not So that our time is 1 to 9. And in the morning I take him to school, and then I have to go to school for 1 o'clock. So he's still at school, and then I gotta get home for probably 10. I reach home 11, depending on the time. He's already asleep. So the only time I get with my son is in the mornings and the weekends, if I'm not busy doing assignments or whatnot. So for me, that is my biggest challenge, because he already doesn't have that other support there as he should. Me not being there just makes it harder.
Alright, for me, my biggest challenge is probably financial. I work in the public service. Anybody that works in the public service know that the salary scale ain't really make it, you know? So, only you might get support from other places at times. When there's something about when your child comes to you and say, "Mommy, I would like to have this," or "Mommy, school says that they need this," and you see that you can't afford it, it really, really hurts. So I'm just hoping that I can reach at a point in life where whatever my child needs, not that I'm going to spoil her, but it must not be that if she's not getting something, it's because I can't give it to her. It probably would be because I say now is not the time for you to get it.
Correct.
But I must always be in a financial situation where I could provide for my child. You know, you want to take your child on a trip somewhere, let the child see the Guyana, let the child see the world, and you can't afford it. You barely, I mean, you're poor or you're struggling, but it's not easy. It's not easy financially at all.
Sometimes you want to give your child the world, but then it's just that it's not financially possible. And I'm not a mommy as yet, but I can imagine what it would feel like to not give somebody that you care so much about the things that you would like them to have. So I understand totally where you're coming from. Anyone out there who is currently pregnant or thinking of having a child, mind you, we're about the same age group. I've known you guys for most of my life. Well, yes, for most of my life. I met Destiny in high school, and I met Renelle when I started living in Georgetown. What are some of the highlights that a mommy at our age would probably experience once they get their baby?
I usually tell my daughter I'm young, so I'm able with you. So children, at least for her, sometimes she wants to skip, sometimes she wants to play in the yard, and I'm happy that I'm youthful enough to have those experiences with her. Even though I'm young, sometimes she say, "Mommy, let me play," and I'm, "Oh gosh, Mommy's so tired, maybe tomorrow." So if I were a lot older, I don't know how I would have been able to do it with her. And I'm sort of, we're getting older together. I like that I can be familiar with certain experiences. I'm not so old that I don't recall some of the things that she's going through and so on, and some of the games that we play and all of that. So she said, "Mommy, you know, but I still want you when you feel like bored. Of course, I know about the So yeah, that's the highlight.
Yeah, for me, because technology is getting more and more advanced, my son doesn't need me to teach him how to use a laptop. I don't need to teach him how to use my phone. The only thing I have to say is you cannot go on this site, and if you see something like this, you leave that website. And he's really fast learner. He's a really fast learner. So for me, it's also growing with him. I can relate to things like just the other day, he's asking me how he's going to get through puberty. Mind you, I just got through puberty a few minutes ago.
Oh my gosh.
I just got through puberty, and and he's well equipped, you know. He has these things, and I can relate to him because I have access to these things. I understand how these things work. So it's like she said, you can grow with them and you understand the things that they deal with because it's in your same area.
Would you do it all over again? That's basically the question. Would you do it all over again?
Yes, I would. I don't think I would do anything different because that 50 minutes labor process, it was fun.
Oh wow.
People had hours of labor, right? I would do that again. I do have a few changes, but
you would do it again?
I would still do it again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always say, apart from all of the issues that I would have gone through in terms of when I was pregnant and so on, my daughter is such a
been pregnant, you know what it's like to push a baby through down there. So what have you learned from then pregnancy to now about yourself as a woman?
I know I learned to be very responsible, and when you're a parent, it's not just about me. You always have to think about your child. Even if your friends call you up and say, what are you doing next week? You gotta think, I don't know, she got school, I don't know if I can get somebody to keep her, I'm not sure.
You're thinking about two people now.
You always have to think about your child, and the parent, being a parent doesn't even end when the child is 18. So you always have that in mind, and for me it has made me more mature, definitely more mature and more responsible. That I can't say, I wouldn't say that I was selfish before, but having to only think about yourself. I mean, when I got pregnant, I was now working. I would buy all these flashy things and fabulous things for myself. But now, whenever things would happen, or whenever a situation arises, you have to think about the bigger picture. Think about the future, not just about now, because you got to put things in place for your child. Yeah. So definitely growth. Definitely growth and maturity.
What I've learned about myself is that good-looking young body that I had will no longer be there, and it's hard to deal with mentally when you already had issues with self-esteem, confidence. It's really hard to deal with, and giving birth to a child is tough, mentally. Not the
So you learned mental strength.
You have to learn real strength, and you have to learn how to cope with these things, these new things that arise, like my boobs, the pimples, and after the stitches, what goes on down there, you no longer have that confidence. But if I'm gonna tell somebody, this is what is gonna happen, I'm not gonna tell them be discouraged, because that would no longer be as it was before. Because if somebody's gonna look at you for that reason, then you don't need them.
Yep.
You don't need them
I
at
agree.
all. So enjoy your flaps and your tires and your stretch marks. Oh, the beautiful stretch marks, those stripes. So that's what I learned. I learned that my entire body changes, mentally, physically, and everything else changes, and you have to know how to deal with
and
that.
You have to learn to accept the new you.
Yep.
Correct, and you do need a support system when it comes to
I'm
that.
saying, yep, like I, went through pregnancy, but it's good to hear, from experience what it's like. I mean, I've heard from all the people's experience, but to have people my age tell me what it's like, it's a different perspective, and one that I can relate to, because you guys are within my age range, so
you
perspective
gotta love yourself. You got to love your body even after that. That's gonna be one of the biggest challenge, I think, for women, especially young girls. So you guys just have to look past that, because like Destiny said, it is a blessing, and you see your blessing grow and you love it.
So now, ladies, we're almost to the end of this beautiful interview. Thank you guys for doing this with me. I've learned a lot, but I must ask you guys, as it concerns education and relationship goals, would you say that those things were interrupted or put on pause or maybe damaged because you had your pregnancy? I mean, pregnancy is a beautiful thing from what I've heard you guys say, but not everyone wants to be with somebody who has had a child, or not many career choices or education choices permit you to have a child and then go on. But then in the same breath, you guys, we as women, then we can do anything that we put our mind to. So let me hear your perspective.
In terms of education, I was thinking about starting UG when I first before I got pregnant, and as a result of these friends, probably, I'm assuming they had more intention than just friendship. So when I got pregnant, it probably killed the vibe for them. So they left, and that was fine with me. In terms of a relationship, what I noticed is men view a woman who has a child in two ways. Either she's looking for a father for the child, or she can go be something quick that I deal with, because I ain't looking for all of them.
Exactly.
So for me, dating as a single mother was pretty hard, because those are basically the two people that you're encountering when these guys are pursuing you. But thank God things are getting better in that avenue. And what my brother told me is, if you have if a guy likes you, or if a guy is dating you and you have a child, or what happened was, I told him I was walking down the road with 3 children, and this man, I think he didn't even really look at something like that. I told him, and he said, if a man like you and he see you with children and he ain't got no time with you, then he really like you, because that child or children is a part of you. So what I would say is, once you notice the type of person you're looking for, and when somebody is coming to me, I just tell them straight, I have a child, I'm a single mother, I have a child. So I tell you that from the beginning. So if you want to go, now's your chance. Before all the feelings start, now's your chance to go, because I'm not looking for anything. So I'm looking for something serious, you know.
So after, remember, I got my son when I was in TI, so it was my final year, and final exams were in 2 weeks. And like I said, I couldn't sleep. I did successful, I was, but I had a nervous breakdown during one of the courses. They told me to go home, but I'm strong-headed. I didn't want to go home. It didn't stop me. I did get my diploma in science, but then I went to UG. And with relationship and education, for that kind of ruined both, because we couldn't pay for it. We couldn't pay for it with having a son and growing up where I grew up and whatnot. So I ended up withdrawing from the University of Guyana. I used to take my son to classes some days because of how it was. He had to come to school with me, stay there, be quiet, and he was like 2. He was like 2, 1, 2. Imagine me telling a 2-year-old be quiet. So all of that I looked at, and it wasn't working out at that time. But I didn't let it stop me. I still went to school, and then of course finance came in, the relationship started to fall apart. That's it with that, etc. And yeah, for me, I didn't get that degree that I wanted, so I decided to go study nursing where I am now. Let's not go relationships. It is hard, like Destiny said. When you meet somebody and the first thing you tell them is you have a child, their face alone, you know that, all right, this is not exactly what I was looking for, but I'm gonna play this game to see what I can get from it. You read that from people, and I think when you're a mother, you get certain instincts. These instincts, you don't even know where these things come from. You started thinking differently, you started feeling different things, and you read people better. So relationship has been hard. Getting into another relationship is crazy. People judge you for being a mom, even though they might say that I'm not against you being a mother and it's fine, but no, they're just looking for one thing. They hit, run, and they go. So relationships are crazy. Friendships, I did kind of lose some friendships along the way because I had a child and some people didn't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I understand how they feel, because having a child is amazing.
And it's also a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility. So I did lose a few friends there, but then I gained a really great friend. And she's been there for me. She tells me when I'm acting stupid and when I'm going wrong. So I gain and I lose, you know? And it was a great experience.
Final question, or not a question. What you guys would tell to girls our age, or probably younger, that have experienced birth, or they're about to experience it or want to experience it? Any words for our female subscribers, viewers?
Okay, you spoke about wanting to experience it and so on, but for me, the first thing I would tell them is, ready to have a child, use a condom. Story finish. You don't have to, when you're ready, you'll do it.
Correct.
Apart from that, if you're already in the situation or if it's something that you want, provided that you have a good support team, then you will be just fine. The first day the baby born, coming down to all the years in baby life will fly by so quickly. My daughter is going to be 8 this year, and when I look back, I can't even think of that the time has passed by so quickly. And when I was pregnant, it was scary, but you take one day at a time, and you learn and you read and you talk to other people to get advice, but not necessarily to do everything somebody tells you, but you get another perspective and you learn wisdom. Getting wisdom from old people and people who have done it is really, really good. And even if you find you don't have the support system, you can still do it as a mother. Once a baby is born, something just happens within you, and that's all you care about. That's all you want to do. Make sure the baby is okay. So no problem. Do what you have to.
Yeah, like she said, you really need a support system. You need a good support system, and we don't always have that here. Not just here, some places, yeah, but here we don't have that support system. For me, because my mom, she was upset, so I'm not bashing her or anything. But when she was upset, instead she's saying, okay, so this is gonna come with a lot of pain, a lot of sleepless nights. She was like, I don't know why you go and get pregnant now. And you'll get a lot of that if you now getting pregnant. You'll get a lot of that. But you have to understand her perspective. And don't be mad at your mom or your dad, whoever you're with. They know what it's like. The only thing they don't tell you is all the little tweaks that come with it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we want. We want to hear that this is going to happen and that's going to happen. The child's going to throw up on you so many times you're going to smell like puke for the rest of your life. You know, these small things you need. If you're not going to get that at home, get it somewhere else. Ask somebody. You need somebody telling you this is what it will be.
Those are all of my questions. I really enjoyed this time with both of you ladies, and thank you so much, you guys. I love you guys so much.
You're welcome.
You've been with me through I said that already, most of my life, and we've met at different journeys.
She did all this
different
fun.
paths. I wasn't this fun. Like when I was young, I couldn't even sit between you guys and look, you know, like one of you. I look very strong. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I must say thank you to Destiny and to Renelle. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you liked today's video, remember to like it. Subscribe to my channel, please. I know you guys are going to have a lot of comments because you like this kind of content, so please engage me in the comment section. Please, when you subscribe, put on your notification bell so that you can see more videos like this. And that's it for today's video, guys. Bye.